Cornerstone Church Children's Ministry video. The memory verse for this week is this one. You can just see it behind me. It's Matthew chapter 11 verse 5. And I want you to imagine, before we get into the memory verse, that you are asked to give a report, or your parents give a report from you at school, and it's a glowing report. It's all good news, I'm sure. And they kind of ask you the question, are they really talking about my son? And they send your brother or your sister to go back to your teacher and actually find out if it's true. And they come back and say, like, yeah, it's true. It sure is. It's good. Because this is what happened in the scripture in Matthew chapter 11. John the Baptist, he was in prison. And maybe he was wondering, of all the good reports he heard about Jesus, is he the one that we've been waiting for? So maybe his disciples, John the Baptist's disciples, were visiting him in prison. He said, hey, look, go and find out from Jesus, is he the one, or should we expect someone else? And so John the Baptist's disciples, they found Jesus and they asked him, and he said this, hey look, the blind receive sight, the lame walk, those who have leprosy are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is proclaimed to the poor. Hey folks, we need good news today, don't we? We need to know that Jesus is the one he said he is. So I'm sure the disciples, John's disciples, went back to John the Baptist and said, like, yeah, he's the one. Look at the evidence. Challenge this week with this memory verse. Imagine for a moment that you're asked to give a report of what you hear about who Jesus is and that good news. What would you say? Take time as well this week to pray for those who don't know Jesus, who need to hear the good news, that they would not stumble, but instead choose daily to put their trust in him. And that is so important, isn't it, for today's time, for the time that we live in, with all the things going on in our world. We need to see the evidence that Jesus is who he says he is, and he is well able to overcome coronavirus and these other things. But do you trust him? Let's trust him together. Let's do the memory verse one more time. From Matthew chapter 11 verse 5. The blind receive sight, the lame walk. Maybe we should do it like this actually. The blind receive sight, the lame walk, those who have leprosy are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are raised, and the good news is proclaimed to the poor. Matthew chapter 11 verse 5. Maybe you can come up with your own actions and share it with me. Blessed week, and talk to you soon.